A billionaire walks into a bank. He doesn't ask for a job. He doesn't sell anything. He doesn't even touch his investments. Instead, he asks for a loan, and the bank happily gives him hundreds of millions of dollars. Not because he needs it, because he's rich. This is one of the strangest loopholes in modern finance. Some of the richest people on earth don't actually live on income. They live on debt. And somehow that debt can be cheaper than paying taxes. Let's start with the obvious question. If you're a billionaire, why borrow money at all? Why not just sell a few shares of stock and live comfortably forever? The answer is taxes. In most countries, selling an asset triggers capital gains tax. If a billionaire sells $100 million worth of stock, a large chunk of that immediately goes to the government. But if they borrow $100 million instead, there's no tax on loans, because technically it isn't income. So instead of selling their shares, billionaires keep them. They walk into a bank and say something like this: I own $5 billion worth of stock. Lend me $100 million. If I don't pay you back, you can take the shares. From the bank's perspective, this is a dream client. The collateral is massive, the borrower is famous, and the interest payments are basically guaranteed. So the bank lends the money at extremely low interest rates, sometimes just a few %. Now here's where the math gets interesting. Imagine a billionaire borrows $100 million at 3% interest. That's $3 million a year in interest payments. But the stock they're holding might grow 8% or 10% annually. On paper, their wealth is still growing much faster than the cost of the loan. So they're effectively spending borrowed money while getting richer at the same time, and they never had to sell the asset. This strategy has a nickname in finance circles: buy, borrow, die. First, buy assets, stocks, companies, real estate. Then borrow against those assets whenever you need cash. And finally, when you die, something strange happens. In many tax systems, the assets get a step up in value when passed to heirs. The capital gains taxes that would have been owed during the billionaire's lifetime can disappear entirely. The debt gets settled by the estate, the assets move to the next generation, and the taxes that would have been triggered by selling those assets may never be paid at all. To be clear, none of this is illegal. Banks encourage it. Financial advisors design entire strategies around it, and tax codes in many countries quietly allow it. But it creates a strange divide in the system. Most people survive on income, paychecks, salaries, wages. The wealthiest people on the planet often survive on loans. One group is taxed the moment money arrives. The other can delay taxes for decades, sometimes forever. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If the richest people don't need to sell their wealth to spend it, what does income even mean in the modern economy?